Okay. And I will count us in 3, 2, 1, and go. We're waiting for it to start. Oh, I see that we are officially live. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in out there in Facebook land. We are here coming live at you from Moving to Canada to bring you the latest Express Entry draw results. We just had a very big Express Entry draw, some exciting results to discuss today. So we're going to jump right into that for you guys. You may recognize me. I am Dane from Moving to Canada, one of the content developers, and I'm joined today by our editor, Hugo O'Doherty, the editor of movingtocanada.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hugo, how are you doing?
Yeah, it's a pleasure as always. I'm doing great. I'm delighted for all these people who are going to get some good news today on the immigration front. Especially, hopefully 2020 can bring some joy to some people.
Yeah, you know what? Like the past like week and a half, I feel like there's been some glimmers of hope on a number of different fronts. So that's
Yeah.
pretty exciting. But today's glimmer of hope is for Express Entry candidates. I am going to just pull up the Express Entry draw results page on the Moving to Canada website, and you guys can probably see peeking up just at the bottom there. You'll see it says the largest draw in Express Entry history. The largest draw. That's what we're here to talk about today. We're going to get right into the results, but just a heads up, if you do have questions about the draw results, if you have questions about Express Entry or Canadian immigration, drop them into the comments, and Hugo and I will try to answer a couple of your questions here at the end of the live stream. But, Hugo, as I said, it's the largest draw in Express Entry history. How many invitations were issued today, and how historic is that number?
Yeah, so there are 5,000 invitations issued today, which is the largest ever in a single draw. We've seen numerous draws recently in and around the 4,500 range. This adds an extra 500. We're up to 5,000 now. It's never passed that 5,000 threshold before. 5,000 invitations historically is quite a lot. Um, it's a significant chunk. They're going deeper into the pool this time. This has downward pressure on the CRS cutoff threshold. Today was 472 points, so that's like 6 points lower than it was just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, less than
I
two
would
weeks
have to
ago.
dig into the arc. Yeah, and like a 6 point drop might not sound like much in a system that ranks people out of 1,200, but as lots of people out there have witnessed, these small changes can make a big difference. A lot of people are in that mid 400s up to 470 kind of range, and this is great news for them. Even if they didn't get invited today, more invitations leads to downward pressure on the CRS score and gives a lot of people a real reason to hope, even if they didn't get invited
Yeah,
today.
it is, as we always say, there's a number of variables that impact the CRS score cutoff, but the number of invitations issued in a given draw is one of the big variables at play there. So if we see Canada, adhering to 5,000 invitations to apply issued per Express Entry draw, and there's no promises that that's what they're going to do. But if they were, that downward pressure, as you described it, would continue into the future, and there's a chance that could continue driving the CRS score cutoff lower.
Yeah, and I was just thinking when these results came out just a few minutes ago, Dane, like it really aligns nicely with the immigration plan that came out earlier this month,
Mm-hmm.
or just at the end of October, rather, that calls for record new numbers of immigrants over the next 3 years. And I was thinking, okay, they're starting early, and then I'm like, are they? Because someone invited today has right now up to 90 days to apply. So let's say they apply in January. They're probably looking at a 6 month processing time and then approval. And then they have up to 1 year to land. So someone invited today might not land in Canada until deep into 2022.
Yeah.
And lots of people choose to move after, let's say if they've got kids, they might begin the next academic year in their home country or wherever they happen to be living. So it might not be until the end of that academic year towards the spring of 2022 before they can actually physically land in Canada. So it's very sort of prescient and on the part of the government to start these big invitation rounds now, if they really want to ramp up those immigration numbers, not just in 2021, but into 2022 as well, because that's when the admissions are taking place.
Yeah. And we saw, I just pulled up for our viewers so they were able to take a look at the immigration levels plan, but it is more than 1.2 million new permanent residents over the next 3 years, and a huge number of that will come directly through express entry. So it's not shocking that we're seeing such a big number of ITAs. I did just want to pull up something for our audience members out there. I'm pulling up the CRS score distribution. So bear in mind, this score distribution is as of November 16th. So this is from 2 days ago. So it hasn't been updated yet to reflect the 5,000 invitations that were removed in today's draw. But you'll see the 5,000, it mostly comes from that range from 471 up to 1,200. But what I'm interested in are the next couple of columns here. So you see that column for 461 to 470, as well as 451 to 460. Both of those columns, they have about, on average, about 11,000 people in each of those ranges. So if you think about that in terms of today's draw, we had 5,000 invitations issued in a single draw. So you could see it's about 22,000. All 22,000 of those ITAs only compiles a total number of 4 draws. That, of course, doesn't take into account that people are constantly entering the pool. We're constantly seeing thousands of people enter between draws. But I do just want to point out, the 5,000 versus the 3,000 that we used to see, or the 3,500. It is a significant boost, and you can see how that can continue putting downward pressure on the CRS score cutoff.
Yeah, and you're right to raise, Dane, the dynamic nature of the pool. So not only can people enter the pool, but someone in that, say, 450s range, they might have their birthday. And unfortunately for them, that might lead to a drop of points, which might take them out of that column into a different one. And on the flip side, people can retake a language test. There are more language test centers open. They can complete more work experience or complete their academic program, and they can see a rise in their points. So it's not just people entering the pool. Some people here are going that way, and some people here are going that way. Mm-hmm. So, the best thing you can do for yourself as a candidate is to identify ways to optimize and improve your score, if that's a possibility. Especially with these larger invitation rounds, if you can boost your score while scores come down, your chances of receiving an invitation go up significantly.
Mm-hmm. And as far as increasing your score is concerned, we've actually got a number of resources that I wanted to bring to people's attention. I'm just dropping into the comments here. I've just pinned a comment with the full draw results, and it leads to this page that we're showcasing in the live stream. What we wanted to showcase today is just a number of the free resources that we've created here at Move Into Canada in order to help you better navigate that process. So you can see we've highlighted 6 resources here. One of them, the second one, is how to improve your CRS score. So you can check that out. I'll give you guys just a quick preview here of what that looks like. The How to Improve Your CRS Score guide. We've essentially created, some fast methods. Fast options for increasing your CRS score, short-term options, as well as some slower options that might include things like completing an additional degree or, learning a different language like French. But that's just one of these 6 resources. We've got a ton of useful stuff here. Our Express Entry Roadmap, which is a free email education service that'll teach you. You get 7 lessons by email over the course of a week. It teaches you the foundations of Express Entry if you're not familiar with it, if you don't know if it's a good option for you. We've got a guide on what you can expect after you get your ITA, a guide on how to determine what PNP options might be good for you, as well as a link to our consultants booking tool. So we here at Move Into Canada, we're not immigration consultants. We're not immigration lawyers. We are simply dedicated to providing you with up-to-date, accurate information. But we do recommend a couple of immigration consultants. We've verified their reputations. Great. So I'm going to end off our video here for today. If you are interested in learning more, again, check out that pinned comment for the latest draw results. results, as well as all of these Canadian immigration resources for express entry. Just a quick recap of today's draw results for those of you who might have missed it at the beginning. We had the largest express entry draw in history take place today. 5,000 invitations to apply were issued, which knocked the CRS score down by 6 points to 472. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to do these live streams for you. And we will, of course, see you next time. We've got an express entry draw or another big update in terms of Canadian immigration. And thank you, Hugo, for joining me today.